Well, it's been a few days since I've done a broadcast on real life broadcasting, but today I'm just going to talk to you about something very practical. And let me just start out by asking a question. Have you ever broke something and wondered how in the world you could fix it? Well, and then you think, well, there's absolutely no way I can fix it. I might as well just throw it away and get a new one or whatever. Well, uh, this happened to me here a while back, and in fact, it was at last year to be exact. I broke something. What it was I had bought a trike. It was a one and three wheel recumbent trikes, and everything was really, working real good on it and everything. And I used to enjoy riding it. In fact, I bought it 5 years ago. And what happened was I was out riding one day, and all of a sudden it's got an electric assist on it, and the electric motor kicked in. It didn't shut off, and I kept going faster and faster, and I held both brakes, and I finally got it to stop, and I don't know if something shorted out or what it was, but anyway, I fooled around with it, and I couldn't find out really what had caused it, but it didn't do it again. So I was, I just out riding and everything was okay. And one day I just stopped, and I was getting off the trike, and it's got a kind of a key to lock the electric part of it. So I was going to reach down to grab the key, and all of a sudden the trike just took off all by itself. And it just so happens I was at the chapel, and I was in the parking lot, and I tried to grab it. Well, I missed it, and uh, the trike ended up going all the way across the parking lot. It was doing probably, I don't know, 20, 30 miles an hour by the time it got to the end of the parking lot. And if it wasn't for my neighbor's garage, it probably would have kept going, but it ran right into the side of his garage. And I had to repair his garage. I had to fix the siding and replace the siding, and I took care of that. Actually, I should say my son did it for me. But anyway, it turned out that uh, I finally had to replace the rear wheel and also the controller and a few other parts. And so it cost me a little bit of money, but I finally got it fixed, and I've been riding it. When I first got it, I rode it a lot, but with age, I've slowed down somewhat, and I don't ride as much. But the first couple of years I had it, I put about 1,000 miles on it each year, and so you can see it got used. But what I did is I bought a bag for it, a bike bag, and it was really handy because I kept all my tools in there. If I ever had trouble or had a flat tire or whatever, I had all the equipment in there. I could fix it right on the spot. Well, it turns out that what really happened was when I ran into the garage, both the straps broke on the bike bag. So I really had no way of connecting it and securing it on the bike rack. Well, there's no way I'm going to be able to repair these straps that broke off because I couldn't sew them because they were kind of part of the bag. They were inside the seam thing. And so I figured I'm going to have to get a new bag, but new bag is over $100. So I didn't want to spend the money because I knew I wasn't riding very much. But I kind of missed that bag. I tried bungee cording it on. It just didn't work. Well, one day I seen this advertisement for Bondic, and it was supposed to be developed by a dentist. And how it worked is it's not like Crazy Glue where you put it on, it sticks to your fingers and all that stuff. And even Crazy Glue was not really good for uh, trying to glue uh, material, a cloth material, and that's what these straps were. They were actually what do they call that? Velcro. And when I seen this advertised, they advertised that you can put it on a brick and stick it on a wall, and you can walk on these bricks like a ladder. And so they said it really holds, and it worked on material, on fabrics. So I decided, well, I'll try to get it. So when I went out to buy a tube, it wasn't cheap. It was like $20 a tube. Uh, but then they had a deal. If you bought three, you could get it for the price of two. So I ended up buying three. So you spend $40 on glue. You wonder if it's going to work or not. Well, it turns out that I glued the straps on. And how this works is you put the Bondic on, and you just hold a strap. It's like a liquid. It doesn't harden anything. But then you use an ultraviolet light that comes right on this stick. So you turn it on and you put the ultraviolet light on this Bondex, and it hardens right away. And boy, it held those straps. It really worked. I was really impressed. So I put the bag on the bike, and I took it for a ride, and I pulled on them, and boy, they're on there. So I was, I saved myself $100 that way. Well, if I take the money off, I save $60. But anyway, the other day, I wanted to put a different Wi-Fi card in my laptop because I was running at 2.4 and I wanted to run at 5G. So I ordered a card, and I got it, and it was supposed to be a simple install, and it would have been because I've done it on two different computers now. And I just take this little screw out, and I take the card out, put the other one back in, put the screw back in, and there's two little wires that just snap on, and it would have been a done deal, just like it did on another computer. But this time, when I went to take the screw off, it was so tight, I really had to put some force on it. And when I did, there's a little, like a pedestal that sticks up that's soldered onto the motherboard, and that broke right off. And, it had no wires on it or anything like that. All it was to support the card and hold the card in position. Well, without this pedestal in there, it was almost impossible to hold that card in right. Well, I put the card in, and I snapped the wires on, and I kind of held it down. I put some folded paper and put it behind the Wi-Fi card, and then bent it over so it would put some pressure on it. Then I put the lid on the bottom, and it seemed to work pretty good. I thought it'd hold, so I put the bottom back on and put the two screws in that holds the bottom, and it actually worked for just a little bit. But then the other day I went to use the computer. I didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I took it apart and found out that the Wi-Fi card had slid out somewhat and wasn't connecting. So I was in bed sleeping last night, and I fell asleep early, and I woke up and had to use the bathroom. So I couldn't fall back asleep. I kept thinking about this, how I was going to get this Wi-Fi card. I didn't want to throw the laptop away just because it broke this little pedestal off. Pedestal was like maybe a quarter of an inch long. So what I ended up doing is I ended up thinking about that Bondic glue, or bonding, whatever you want to call it. So I got up last night, and I took the laptop apart, and I kind of looked at it, and I thought, well, I didn't throw that little pedestal away. I put it in a little drawer with some screws, and so I looked for it, and I looked for it, and finally I found it. I didn't throw it away, and I was glad I didn't. So what I did is I took a tweezers, and I held onto this little pedestal, and I held it down into the motherboard where it was attached before. And I had gotten that Bondex, and I just put 3 little drops. And then I turned the Bondex around because the ultraviolet light is on the other side, and I turned it on, and I held that ultraviolet light on there. Well, just a matter of a few seconds, and you couldn't get that pedestal off. It was on. It was like I welded it on there or soldered it on, and I didn't even solder it. And it was a real hard place to get at, so I wasn't going to even attempt to try to solder it back on. So anyway, it turned out it worked pretty good. I couldn't get it off. It was stuck on there pretty good, so I put the Wi-Fi card back in, put that little screw back in that was really in there tight last time, and I snugged it down, and sure enough, it's working perfect now. So I got 2 things that I didn't have to throw away because I figured out a way of repairing them. And now that I got this extra tubes Bondex, I am going to just keep them around, and no matter what I break, I got a way of fixing it. I got to be honest with you, I'm really impressed with this product. I was going to do a review, but I bought it off the internet, and I think you'd have to probably search on the internet. If I find it, I'll put it in the description of this broadcast, and maybe you can check it out. If you ever break anything or you can't fix it, there's always a way. And I think in this world of throwaway stuff, everything is disposable. It's good if we can manage to save a few things. Well, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and for those that are on the video broadcast, I hope you enjoyed the scenery that I have. I didn't want you just to be looking at me while I make this broadcast, so I thought I'd give you a little something enjoyable to watch. And for those on the audio broadcast, you just have to use your imagination. I had leaves with rain falling on them, and somebody gently watering a plant, some flowers, and a few other things that I had that you didn't see. But you did get to hear what I did and how I fixed a couple things. And now this is, like I say, real-life broadcasting, and it's things that we deal with every day, real life. And I know that normally I talk about spiritual things in our lifetime, but today I just thought I'd give you some good, friendly advice on how I managed to fix a few things. And I didn't video them, so I can't show you how I did it. But you have to kind of use your imagination a little bit here. That things can be fixed, and especially if you got the right product. Now, like I said, this was developed by a dentist that used it for chipped or cracked teeth, and he thought, geez, that it'd be good for use for other things. So he developed it, and he's selling it. So with that said, I just wanted to share this with you, and just have a great day. And remember, we don't need to throw everything away. Some things can be fixed. And I'm not saying be a pack rat, but I'm just saying that if you got something and it's still usable, even if you don't want to use it again, you can always hand it off to somebody else that could. So with that said, just have a great day, and Lord bless you, and until we get together next time, bye for now.